Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secret Show. I'm your host Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets, available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a very special guest, Jim Ahlin. Jim is the host of Roofing Success podcast. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Jim Ahlin. Jim,
Hey,
welcome.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Jim, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get started with your roofing success marketing agency?
Yeah, so it's kind of a long journey, but it started off with in the late 1990s. I was choosing my major in college, and that was during the dot-com boom, and I chose management of information systems. And that was, it's essentially half computer science, half
Yeah.
business administration. And I was like, man, this has to be, the perfect major for the future. And then I got out of that major and started working as a programmer. And I realized, boy, am I not a programmer. So that was, and then, but what that led me to was I have a very entrepreneurial spirit. And through the many businesses I've owned through the years, I always became the person who did the internet marketing for that company. And then as time passed, people started asking me to do that for them, to generate leads online for them. And so I started doing that. And I was in a mastermind group with my current business partner. And we both lived in the Minneapolis area, and we said, hey, let's work on some projects together. And we worked on some projects together, and then that evolution of our relationship evolved into Roofer Marketers and our niche focused agency, where we serve. We offer a comprehensive digital marketing solution for roofing contractors.
Mhm. Is there a local only or is it nationwide?
Nationwide. Yep,
Oh, great,
nationwide. Yeah,
great. So
yeah. We have.
then how that turns out to be? Hey, we need to do the roofing success podcast.
What's that?
How that led to podcasting idea.
Yeah, so that led to the podcast because I was on the phone with contractors all over the country,
Yeah.
speaking to them about their digital marketing, and I found so many of them. I had such great conversations with some that were more successful,
Mhm.
and I had other conversations where these people were just struggling. They were really having a hard time getting their business on the ground off the ground, and I thought, well, I know all of these successful people, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of these successful contractors. Why not put a show together where I focus on their success, the Roofing Success podcast, so
Mhm.
that others can learn from their success and from their mistakes. That's what we talk about on the show, the things that they've learned and the lessons that they've learned also. So
Oh, wonderful. Looks like you stole my questions already. So I'm just kidding. So, okay, great. You learned a lot, success secrets and the mistakes to avoid. That's what we all business is about. To avoid
that's
those
right.
mistakes and copy and model the success of other successful people. So I'm going to steal the same thing from you right now on this show.
All
Jim,
right.
what are the top three missteps to avoid when you are let's say in a roofing business or in any business, based on your experience?
I think I think really in any business, I think the first mistake that I see people make is hesitation. Um, uh, Really, what you need to do in business is you need to execute, revise, and then execute again. In my opinion, right? And in that hesitation is where time is lost. You're never going to have a perfect product, right? If you're not if 3 years, 5 years down the road, you're not almost embarrassed a little bit by the first time you introduced your product, service, or product to the market,
Yeah,
you're not doing it right,
yeah,
right? If perfection is a killer. The second thing is I think that you have to have a purpose beyond profit. That's so important. The mission of Roofer Marketers is to help roofing contractors generate more revenue through their digital marketing efforts. But we do that in multiple ways. We don't just do that through executing our digital marketing strategies for our clients. We do that through education. We do that through the podcast. We have a mission that is greater than just our profit. And then the third mistake I think people make is that they don't understand that it's a marathon.
Yeah.
I also mentor other digital marketing agency owners in a group called the 7-Figure Agency, and I have one of my mentees was in the Army, and in the Army they do something called a ruck march, where they line up, they put all their equipment on, and they march. Most of the time those are 12 miles, but every now and then they throw in what is called an unknown distance ruck march.
Okay.
You put all of your equipment on and you start walking, and you don't know where the end is, right? And so it's a mental exercise more than anything. And I think that is, kind of a good analogy of the marathon of a business. You got to just keep going. Your feet are going to get sore sometimes. You're going to get hungry sometimes, but you just keep marching. So I think those are the three biggest mistakes that people make: hesitation, not having a purpose beyond profit, and not understanding that it's a marathon.
Oh, you put it so nicely and recapped it very well for me, so I don't have to do my job. Jim, so let's steal some of your success secrets. Just give us only top three ones.
Top three is the top three. Number one is to model success, right? There's the ClickFunnels, started Russell Brunson,
Yeah.
it started a term called funnel hacking, right?
Yeah.
So you go into someone else's funnel and you see what their email sequence is, you see what their pages say, you see what all of that is. In search engine optimization, it's the same thing. You're looking at what Google is ranking, and you're making your pages very similar in wording and structure to those. There are clues out there. There are plenty of opportunities to learn from people like your podcast here, Siddique. There's so many ways to model success. Being the expert is my second thing, is being the expert and putting yourself out there as the expert. Be the person in front of the room. Put yourself out there on social media, in speaking engagements, on podcasts. Anytime you get to stand in front of a room and speak about your product or service, take that opportunity. And then the other thing on the other side is to close all gaps. We sit down on a regular basis and figure out what our competitors can say negatively about our company, and we close that gap. And so now our gaps are so small that it's very difficult for a competitor to say anything negative about us when they look at our company. So closing those gaps.
Jim, let me give you a review on what you just shared. I like the third one. Okay, that's my favorite one. Okay,
Yeah.
I like all three, or the third one is my favorite one, because mostly people are ignoring their gaps. They are just focusing
That's
on
right.
run. So because that's costing them so much more money. Those gaps.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So that can be the most important thing, for sure. I like that. Yeah.
Understood. See, I come as a student mind, and I'm sure the people who are watching this, they come as student mind. They want to learn. I learned already. I just shared with you. So, Jim, I gave you a bonus tip idea too. So, anything you want to share as a bonus?
As a bonus, I would say to just it's just the continual revision, right? To understand that your business is a living organism, right? It's a living document. Everything is a living thing. All of your standard operating procedures, everything is just revisions, right? It's all phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and understanding that you just need to continue through the phases and tweak and make things better all the time. That simple.
Yeah,
Keep it
keep
simple.
learning, and keep it simple, and also keep improving.
Keep
Don't get-
improving. Yeah.
keep improving. Yeah, wonderful. Jim, I think I'm going to ask you a tough question, and I can feel it. You can handle it. So here you go. So what is your single most professional failure you had in you because you have done so many businesses? Failure you like to share with us? What did you learn from that, and how did you recover from that?
So I always look at failures as lessons instead of failures, right? And
Yeah.
so I would say the one that always stands out to me is the the real estate and mortgage brokerage that I opened in August of 2017
Okay.
that focused on, I'm sorry, not 2007, 2007,
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah.
17. August of 2007, a business partner and myself opened a real estate and mortgage brokerage focusing on real estate investors. And the market changed so quickly
Yeah.
that, we were put out of business by October. It was non-existent by October. And what I learned from that in recovering from that, was that we always put we get in our own way. So, I had I created, there were credit issues that were created from that, financial issues that were created from that. We had a lot of money and, some money invested in it and things like that. But what I did is I just turned around and did something again. I asked again. I went to the market and asked, like, what can I do next? And I ended up changing and focusing on real estate investing personally, doing rehabs, fix and flips and rentals and things like that. And so the lesson there was, like, I had this failure of this real estate brokerage, but within 6 months, I had a real estate investing business going. And you would think that you need money for that, which you do. You have to borrow money. So credit is always a big issue. But I just found a way, right? So I just kept finding a way, and ended up, growing that into a nice, successful real estate portfolio. So, it's there is no it's just a perseverance, I guess, is the lesson in all of that.
Yeah, no, great. Thank you so much for sharing. See, I knew you could handle this one. So how, Jim, the Growth Hacking Show community, people who are watching this right now, how they can support you?
Really, if anyone knows a roofing contractor that is struggling, our industry as digital marketers, there's a lot of people who sell diet pills. We focus on the hard work and eating right, and that takes more time. We don't sell dreams, we don't sell unicorns, and so a lot of contractors have become accustomed to and really disheartened by the companies that they've chosen to work with. So if you know anyone like that, feel free to shoot them over to Roofer Marketers to have a conversation with us, so we can, really show them what it takes to generate success online in their roofing business.
Great. So it's roofermarketers.com.
Roofermarketers.com. Yes, sir.
It's on your screen right now. And also, if you're just listening and walking in, Jim, and let me spell it for you: roofermarketers.com. Roofer Marketers, there's S at the end, .com. Thank you so much, Jim. Jim, I like to ask this question to every guest based on your experience on being a guest on the show. Here is the question: what would you say to your best friend about Growth Hacking Secret Show when I'm not there?
Yeah, so the reason that I came on the Growth Hacking Secret Show is because I appreciated the execution. When I got invited to the show, Siddique invited me to the show, and I hadn't heard of the show before. I hadn't heard of him, but I appreciated that he was executing. And so I looked him up, found out that, found his vision, saw his vision in it, and decided that it was a great opportunity to come on here. And I wanted to be a part of his show for that reason.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Jim, what would you say as a final word?
I guess the world is kind of in a strange place right now with the pandemic and everything. But what I did, my wife puts together a calendar every year with pictures of I have twin boys. And we do pictures of the boys from 1 year ago. So the January month of the calendar are pictures from last January, so a year ago. And every month, so every year in December, my wife makes me go through all of my pictures and organize them and put them into a folder. And what I realized when I was going through that folder is that we had a great year. So, focus on your family, focus on the things that you can control, and create a great life for yourself.
Great wisdom. Thank you so much, Jim, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secret Show community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the